Imagine a world where the odds are stacked against you from the very beginning, where pain, struggle, and loneliness are not just moments in life, but your everyday companions. Now imagine that in the heart of this world, a boy is born, a boy who will one day dream not of riches, not of fame, but of reshaping the destiny of humanity itself. This is not fiction. This is the real story of Elon Musk. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. From the outside, his childhood looked ordinary, but deep inside, it was filled with wounds and scars that would shape his future fire. His father, Elon Musk, was an engineer. Intelligent, yes, but complicated and often harsh. His mother, May Musk, a Canadian-born dietitian and model, was a figure of resilience and grace. Elon grew up with his younger brother, Kimball, and his sister, Tosca. But life at home was far from easy. Elon once admitted it was not a happy childhood. The young boy often felt alone, misunderstood, and even rejected. His father could be emotionally abusive, and school was no safe haven either. He was bullied relentlessly, beaten so badly once that he had to be hospitalized. Imagine being that kid, cornered, mocked, thrown down. Most children would break, but Elon didn't. Instead, he found refuge in the one place where no one could touch him, his imagination. Late at night, while the world around him grew crueler, Elon would disappear into the pages of science fiction books. The Lord of the Rings, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and especially Isaac Asimov's Foundation series. Those stories weren't just books, they were blueprints of the future. He devoured them, believing that life could be bigger than what his world offered. He taught himself to code at the age of 10. No fancy courses, no tutors, just a boy, a computer, and endless nights of trial and error. By 12, Elon had created a video game called Blastar and sold it to a magazine for around $500. For him, that wasn't just money, it was proof. Proof that he could build something valuable from nothing but his mind. But even with these sparks of brilliance, the world around him remained dark. His parents divorced when he was young, and Elon made a painful choice to live with his father. Years later, he would call that decision one of the worst mistakes of his life. His father's presence weighed heavy, casting shadows over his confidence. Yet, paradoxically, those difficult years planted in him an unshakable resilience, a refusal to let pain define his destiny. By the time he reached his late teens, South Africa itself felt like a prison. Mandatory military service loomed, and Elon knew he didn't want to serve an apartheid regime. He wanted out, he wanted freedom, and more than anything, he wanted to be closer to the land of opportunity, America. But Elon wasn't reckless. He knew the path wouldn't be direct. First, he secured a Canadian passport through his mother's heritage, and at 17, he left South Africa behind. Picture that moment, a skinny, shy teenager, barely $2,000 in his pocket, stepping onto a plane with more dreams than belongings. The journey ahead was uncertain, but Elon was ready to chase the impossible. Canada wasn't glamorous. He worked odd jobs, cleaning boilers in the basement of a lumber mill, farming, even cutting logs. These weren't the experiences of a future billionaire. They were the humbling lessons of survival. And yet through it all, he kept his eyes fixed on the horizon. He enrolled at Queen's University in Ontario. There, he wasn't just another student, he was hungry. Hungry for knowledge, hungry for possibility. And it was here that something equally important happened. Elon met a fellow student named Justine Wilson, who would later become his wife. But even more crucially, Canada was just a stepping stone. Elon's heart was already in the United States, the land where he believed the future would be written. In 1992, after 2 years at Queen's, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. Here, the dreamer began to sharpen his tools. He studied physics and economics, two fields that would later blend perfectly into his career of building futuristic yet practical solutions. But Elon wasn't like other students. While many focused on grades, parties, or securing safe careers, Elon was thinking bigger. At Penn, he rented a house with a friend and turned it into an unofficial nightclub to pay rent, charging $5 for entry and filling the place with hundreds of people. It wasn't about the money, it was about survival, about finding creative ways to keep going. Still, beneath this hustler's spirit, there was always the thinker, the visionary. His physics professors noticed his deep curiosity, his endless questions, and his willingness to challenge assumptions. Even then, Elon wasn't content with small answers. He wanted to tackle the biggest questions of all. How do we power the world sustainably? How do we make humanity a multi-planetary species? How do we ensure the survival of civilization itself? Graduating with degrees in both economics and physics, Elon had choices. He could have gone the safe route, Wall Street, consulting, academia. But safe was never his path. Deep inside, he knew that true impact would never come from playing it safe. It would come from daring to risk everything. And so, the boy who once escaped into books and dreams was now stepping into the real world with nothing but a vision and an unbreakable will. He didn't know how hard the road would be. He didn't know the failures, heartbreaks, and battles waiting for him. But he did know this. He wasn't meant for small dreams. He was meant to change the course of human history. The year was 1995. Elon Musk had just completed his studies at the University of Pennsylvania, and the world lay open before him. Many of his peers were heading toward Wall Street jobs, safe paychecks, and predictable futures. But Elon wasn't wired that way. For him, the future wasn't something to be predicted. It was something to be created. He had one burning desire: to make an impact, to do something that mattered. And for that, he knew exactly where he needed to be: Silicon Valley, the beating heart of innovation, the place where ideas, even crazy ones, could find the oxygen to ignite. But dreams don't pay rent. Elon and his brother Kimball barely had money to survive. They rented a small office space in Palo Alto. The office was so bare that they slept on the floor at night, showered at the local YMCA, and coded during the day. No fancy meals, no luxuries, just raw determination. Elon once described those days: "We would work all the time. If you were lucky, you'd sleep on the couch. We didn't even have enough money for an apartment, but we had a computer and we had a dream." Their dream was a company called Zip2. The internet was still young, messy, and underestimated. Most businesses didn't even understand what online meant. But Elon saw something others didn't. Zip2 was a digital city guide. Think of it as an early version of Google Maps combined with online directories. It offered maps, business listings, and even directions. It was ahead of its time. But innovation always comes with struggle. Investors weren't lining up. Critics dismissed the internet as a fad, and competition was fierce. Elon and Kimball worked day and night, sometimes collapsing from exhaustion, sometimes surviving on nothing but sheer willpower. And then, a breakthrough. In 1996, venture capitalists saw the potential and invested $3 million into Zip2. For the Musk brothers, this was more than just funding. It was validation. Their crazy little idea had found believers. But success has a strange way of testing people. With investors came new rules, new pressures, and new voices telling Elon what he could and couldn't do. Elon was young, ambitious, and full of ideas. But the board of directors often saw him as too bold, too risky. They sidelined him, bringing in a more experienced CEO. For Elon, it was a bitter pill. Imagine pouring your soul into a creation only to be told you weren't capable of leading it. Yet Elon swallowed his pride and kept pushing. He wasn't here to prove his ego. He was here to change the world. In 1999, the hard work paid off. Compaq acquired Zip2 for nearly $22 million. For a boy who once slept on the floor with nothing but a borrowed blanket, this was a fortune. But here's the thing about Elon Musk: money was never the destination, it was fuel. Most people, after making $22 million, would slow down, buy a mansion, or vanish into comfort. Not Elon. He wasn't interested in comfort, he was obsessed with impact. So instead of retiring at 28, Elon set his sights on his next frontier: finance. At the time, banks were clunky, outdated, and resistant to technology. Transferring money online was almost impossible. But Elon envisioned a world where money could move as freely as email. He founded X.com, an online bank. X.com was radical, risky, and way ahead of its time. Imagine trying to convince people in 1999 to trust the internet with their life savings. The skepticism was enormous, but Elon pressed forward, pouring millions of his own money into the project. And here's where fate stepped in. Around the same time, another company called Confinity was working on a similar idea. They had developed a little product called PayPal. When X.com and Confinity merged in 2000, the result was explosive. The merged company became PayPal. Suddenly, the vision of fast, simple, online money transfer wasn't science fiction anymore. It was happening. People loved it. Businesses loved it. The future of money was being rewritten. But once again, Elon's boldness became both his strength and his stumbling block. As CEO, he pushed for aggressive expansion, ambitious features, and a vision that was years ahead of the curve. Not everyone agreed. The board grew restless, and in a move that cut deep, Elon was ousted as CEO in 2000 while he was on vacation, no less. Think about that. You built a company from scratch, a pour in your passion, your money, your vision, and then you're fired from your own creation. Many would have given up right there. Many would have been crushed. But Elon wasn't like many. He took the hit, he swallowed the pain, and he kept going. He remained the largest shareholder, and in 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $180 million after taxes. Now here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. This was the moment when Elon could have lived the rest of his life in comfort. A mansion in Beverly Hills, yachts, private islands, the whole billionaire lifestyle. But remember, Elon's compass wasn't set toward comfort. It was set toward humanity's survival. And so instead of securing his wealth, Elon did something insane. He took that fortune and began betting it all on three industries that most experts called suicidal: space exploration, electric cars, solar energy. Each one on its own was a billion-dollar gamble. Each one had bankrupted countless dreamers before him. And yet Elon looked at these impossible challenges and thought, why not? Because for Elon Musk, the question was never what is safe. The question was always, what is necessary for the future of humanity? And with that, the stage was set. The boy who once dreamed in the quiet of his lonely childhood was about to face the biggest battles of his life. Battles that would push him to the brink of bankruptcy, heartbreak, and despair. Battles that would nearly destroy him. But also, battles that would make him a legend. Picture this. You're 31 years old. You've just made $180 million from the sale of PayPal, and the world calls you a genius entrepreneur. Most people would disappear into luxury, but Elon Musk wasn't most people. For him, money was never the finish line. It was ammunition. Ammunition to fight for humanity's future. Because deep inside, Elon carried a fear that haunted him. What if humanity never becomes a multiplanetary species? What if our civilization collapses and we have no backup? He wasn't just thinking about business. He was thinking about extinction. So in 2002, with nearly everything he had, Elon founded Space Exploration Technologies Corp., better known today as SpaceX. Now pause for a second. Space exploration? That was NASA's playground, not a private entrepreneur's. Experts laughed. Journalists mocked. A headline from the Time even read, "The Space Cowboy, Billionaire Blows Fortune on Rockets." But Elon wasn't chasing headlines. He was chasing survival for the human race. His goal wasn't small: to reduce the cost of space travel by a factor of 10, and eventually to make life multiplanetary. But dreams are expensive. Building rockets from scratch isn't like building a website. It's hardware. It's fuel. It's millions of dollars going up in flames literally every time something goes wrong. And wrong it went. SpaceX's first rocket, the Falcon 1, failed. The second one failed. The third one failed. 3 explosions, 3 public humiliations, 3 giant piles of money gone. By the third failure, in 2008, SpaceX was hanging by a thread. Investors doubted him. Engineers were exhausted. Journalists called him crazy. And behind closed doors, even Elon was on the edge of despair. He admitted later, "That was the worst year of my life. I had a choice: either I give up or I keep going. And giving up is not in my nature." But rockets weren't the only war he was fighting. Around the same time, Elon had thrown himself into another impossible mission: electric cars. When Elon invested in a small startup called Tesla Motors in 2004, the world had written off electric vehicles as impractical toys. They'll never be fast, they'll never have range, and nobody will want them, critics said. But Elon believed otherwise. He envisioned sleek, powerful, desirable electric cars that could crush gas vehicles in performance. Tesla's first car, the Roadster, aimed to prove it. But once again, the road was brutal. Production costs soared, deadlines slipped, engineers left, investors panicked. By 2008, Tesla was bleeding money. The media ridiculed Elon as the dot-com billionaire burning cash. And then came the storm. 2008, the global financial crisis. Banks were collapsing. Companies were shutting down. The world economy was crumbling. For Elon Musk, it was like standing in the middle of a hurricane with SpaceX on one side, Tesla on the other, and both being torn apart. He had 20 million left. He split that between Tesla and SpaceX, keeping nothing for himself. Think about that. Most billionaires protect their fortune. Elon risked it all. He was literally borrowing money for rent while sleeping on friends' couches, despite technically being one of the richest men on paper. And still, things kept getting worse. Tesla was weeks away from bankruptcy. SpaceX had already failed 3 launches. If the 4th failed, it was over. Elon would be done. His companies, his reputation, his vision gone. Now imagine the pressure. Your employees have poured their lives into your vision. Their families depend on it. The media is calling you a failure. Investors are circling, waiting to pick apart the scraps, and the clock is ticking. September 28, 2008, the fourth launch of Falcon 1. Everyone at SpaceX held their breath. Elon himself described it as a make-or-break moment. The engines ignited, the rockets soared. Seconds felt like hours, minutes like eternity. And then, against all odds, the Falcon 1 reached orbit. For the first time in history, a private company had put a liquid-fueled rocket into orbit. SpaceX had done what no one else outside of governments had achieved. The room erupted. Engineers hugged, cried, screamed. Elon himself broke down in tears. Years of pain, humiliation, and failure had just turned into triumph. But destiny wasn't done with him yet. Just weeks later, with Tesla on the verge of collapse, a miracle happened. On Christmas Eve of 2008, Elon secured a last-minute investment deal, literally hours before Tesla would have gone bankrupt. At the same time, NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. In the same year that could have destroyed him, Elon had saved both Tesla and SpaceX. From that point on, the tide began to turn. Tesla, once mocked, launched the Roadster, an electric car that went from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. It silenced critics. SpaceX, once doubted, became NASA's partner. But don't mistake this for an overnight success story. These victories came with sleepless nights, broken relationships, and unimaginable stress. Elon himself confessed, "It was like staring into the abyss and eating glass. That's what it felt like." And yet, he endured. Because deep inside, Elon Musk wasn't driven by ego or money or fame. He was driven by something far greater, the unshakable belief that humanity could be more, that we could rise beyond our limits, reach the stars, and leave a legacy bigger than ourselves. 2008 was the year that tried to kill him, but it became the year that defined him. Elon Musk's 100 Success Life Lessons. When you look at Elon Musk's journey from a lonely boy in South Africa, bullied and bruised, to the man building rockets for Mars and cars that redefine the future, you begin to realize something. His life isn't just a story. It's a roadmap, a collection of lessons carved out of fire, failure, and relentless belief. Lessons that don't just belong to him, they belong to anyone who dares to dream. So let's dive into the top 100 success lessons from Elon Musk's life. 1. Childhood pain can be fuel. What breaks you can also make you unstoppable. 2. Curiosity is the greatest superpower, and never let it die. 3. Teach yourself. Don't wait for permission to learn. 4. Your imagination is your first rocket. Dream bigger than your surroundings. 5. Coding at 12 or learning at 40, start wherever you are. Just start. 6. Failure at school or bullying at playgrounds doesn't define your future. 7. Books are mentors. Treat them like treasure. 8. When the world feels small, think beyond it. 9. Struggle in silence. The results will make the noise. 10. Leaving your comfort zone is the first launch to greatness. 11. Sleep on the floor if you have to, but don't sleep on your dreams. 12. Hardship builds resilience. Don't waste your scars. 13. Risk is the entry fee for extraordinary. 14. The safest path often leads to an average life. 15. Chase impact, not money. Money follows purpose. 16. You don't need luxury to survive. You need vision. 17. Work 100 hours a week if your dream demands it. 18. Obsession beats talent, always. 19. Share your ideas, even if people call them crazy. 20. Ignore the laughter. Focus on the launch pad. 21. Fail fast, fail often, learn faster. 22. 3 rocket explosions don't mean defeat, they mean data. 23. Be willing to bet on yourself when no one else will. 24. Let humiliation harden your skin, not your heart. 25. A couch at the office can be your first headquarters. 26. When you have nothing left, give what you still have. 27. Split your last dollar between 2 dreams if both matter. 28. Give up comfort, never give up vision. 29. Build companies that solve humanity's problems, not just your bank balance. 30. Eat glass if you must, but don't spit out your mission. 31. Surround yourself with people who share your obsession. 32. Fire those who don't believe. Belief is oxygen. 33. Passion attracts warriors. Build your tribe. 34. Your team will mirror your resilience. Show them you bleed for the vision. 35. Lead from the front. Sleep less, work more. Show them it's possible. 36. Let people call you arrogant. What matters is persistence. 37. Share glory, own failure. 38. Celebrate every small win. It fuels the bigger fight. 39. Listen, but don't obey blindly. Visionaries aren't democracies. 40. Stay loyal to the mission, not the comfort zone. 41. If you're fired from your own company, don't burn down the bridge, build another. 42. A CEO must sometimes clean the floor and code at night. Do it. 43. Don't fear being underestimated. Use it as stealth power. 44. Your reputation doesn't come from headlines. It comes from survival. 45. In chaos, stay calm. One decision can change everything. Into 46. If your dream is mocked, you're on the right track. Or 47. Keep learning physics, economics, or rockets. Knowledge compounds. 48. Simplicity wins. Make complex things easy to use. 49. Don't chase trends, build the future. 50. Never mistake noise for progress. Focus. 51. Split your fortune if needed, but never split your focus. 52. Put every dollar back into the mission. Luxury can wait. 53. Use deadlines as fuel. They force greatness. 54. Face impossible problems. That's where innovation hides. 55. Aim for Mars. Even if you fail, you'll land among stars. 56. When failure comes, stand up faster than anyone expects. 57. Keep moving when critics freeze. 58. Desperation births creativity. 59. In your darkest night, trust that dawn is coming. 60. Let survival sharpen you into steel. 61. Be okay with looking insane. Insanity creates breakthroughs. 62. If no one believes, become your own believer. 63. Resilience is not a gift. It's a muscle. Train it. 64. Protect your mission, not your ego. 65. If you lose everything, rebuild from the ashes. 66. Miracles happen only after maximum pain. Wait for them. 67. When the world says stop, whisper to yourself, go. 68. Crisis reveals your true self. Don't hide. 69. Never quit on the fourth attempt. It might be the one that saves everything. 70. Remember, one successful launch erases 1,000 failures. 71. Don't measure your life in years. Measure it in impact. 72. The bigger the dream, the bigger the battle. 73. Solve problems nobody else dares to touch. 74. If people say it's impossible, that's your invitation. 75. Change industries, not just companies. 76. Compete with giants by being faster, hungrier, bolder. 77. Let doubt fuel your fire. 78. When you're drowning, build your own lifeboat. 79. Be relentless. The world respects relentless. 80. History remembers those who dared, not those who doubted. 81. Risk your comfort to buy humanity's future. 82. Don't just chase success, chase significance. 83. Give people hope, not just products. 84. Inspire the child in the crowd who dreams of space. 85. Turn your company into a cause. 86. People don't work for paychecks, they work for missions. 87. Transparency builds loyalty. Share struggles, not just wins. 88. Make your life's work bigger than your lifespan. 89. Success is not about applause. It's about impact. 90. If your dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. 91. Don't run from stress. Learn to carry it. 92. In failure, look for the lesson. 93. Protect your time. It's your most valuable currency. 94. Make sacrifices nobody else will to live a life nobody else can. 95. Think centuries ahead, not quarters. 96. Your biggest critics might one day need your vision. 97. Teach the world that progress is worth the pain. 98. Build what you wish existed. 99. Never forget, even legends started as kids with broken hearts. 100. And the final lesson, leave Earth better than you found it and then take humanity to the stars. By the time you finish Elon Musk's journey, you realize it isn't just about rockets or cars. It's about daring to believe that one person, one lonely, bullied, misunderstood child can grow into a force strong enough to bend the future. And that's the legacy of Elon Musk.